Hey everybody, it's me, Angel Benton, and it's time for another Sudsy recap. And tonight I'm talking all about Below Deck. Um, because tonight they're actually airing the new episode of Below Deck, but I just want to go over last week's real quick. So I want to give myself a little pat on the back because I wasn't drunk. I did not imagine it. Sierra did call Kyle a queen. It just took 2 episodes, but that really kind of irritated me. I mean, he's 100% right. He was like, because she knows that I'm, into dudes too, she called me a queen. She could have said, you're a dick, you're an asshole, you're, whatever, fuck off, but she said, you're a queen. So, and she wasn't even sorry about it either. That was the thing. Like, if you said that, like, you know what, that was out of line, I'm sorry. But she wasn't sorry. She wasn't sorry at all. So that kind of really irritated the shit out of me. Like, if it was another queen calling him a queen, then, I know I hate, and that's wrong. No one should be calling each other that, but, I mean, I don't know. It's not as bad as if she had called him the F word, but still, coming from a straight woman, it just seemed it was offensive to me. I was offended by it. I mean, I wasn't grossly offended by it. I mean, I've heard worse. Grab her by the pussy, but still, it was offensive to me. Um, and for whatever reason, I mean, yeah, Kyle can't stand her, but it looked like she was like, Kyle is upset with me. And like, I think she was making it into a bigger deal in her head than it really was. Or maybe it was a big deal and just the editors chose to edit that part out. So listen, I know how those shows are. So it could have been during real life on that boat, it might have seemed like a huge deal that, um, that they were having this sort of altercation between each other. And that's fine, you know. But it was edited to look like, okay, she's a little bit crazy and she's kind of imagining things. But you can see that he doesn't like her, but it is what it is. Um, the deck crew is starting to fall apart slowly. Like, Nico's got more comments under his breath about Kelly being bosun, how he should be bosun instead. Lauren is. She's done a few things and then not really owned up to them, like the whole pizza incident and all that shit. Like, and when she gets drunk, she talks about, I mean, it just seems like they're kind of running roughshod over the interior, and not just that, but they're also not getting along with each other. So with I mean, Kelly is doing his best, but I mean, Nico, I shouldn't even say the deck crew, but just Nico and Lauren, they seem like they're a little bit out of control. But Kyle had his issues with Sierra, and then Kelly was getting yelled at by the captain, and then Kelly's trying to explain to his deck crew, and they don't give a shit. So it's very, I felt bad for him. I know what that's like. I know what it's like to be new in a job and to be in charge of people. I'm not in charge of anyone anymore, FYI. But I have managed many people at one time, and I know what it's like to feel like you're not measuring up and to have to crack the whip hard. Sometimes you have to, it's just part of life. So I understood that. Um, Ben's brother. So let's move on to another thing that happened last week. And so, Ben and Emily are having this like relationship, and it's very cute. Both of them are very pretty damn cute together. And Ben's brother came to town. And Ben's brother, as according to Ben, is, or was it Ben that said that, or was it Kate? Somebody said that he's a better looking, more suave and sophisticated version of Ben. Well, I don't know about better looking. He's definitely good looking. I don't know about better than Ben, but he is good looking. Suave and sophisticated. He was definitely well dressed. I'll give him that much. Very much so. And he was very polite to everybody. Um, and of course, by the end of the night, of course, Ben completely got ass naked. Well, not butt naked, just from the waist down, and was walking around the boat whatever. I mean, that's Ben though, right? We've seen Ben on every single season of this show. So, you know, we all know as viewers, we know that that's just what he's like. Um, Captain Lee actually wasn't that hard on the deck crew or the interior this past week. I mean, at least compared to how he's been in the past. He's been really, kind of gunning for them in the past, but this past week he was not that, he wasn't that crazy this past week. However, apparently this week he does get a little bit crazy with them because, you know, Kyle had so here's the way that it went down. Kyle had asked Kate permission to use one of the guest rooms, right? Because the guests were all off the boat, and he asked if I could stay in the master suite. They're like, fine. So he's like, I'm gonna have a good wank, right? And for those of you that don't know, wanking is slang for masturbating. So he's like, I'm gonna rub a good one out, right? But then in comes Lauren, and she's drunk, and in comes Nico, and he's drunk, and then the deck crew is just all drunk and rowdy, and they end up breaking some shit in the bathroom, right, on this like multi-million-dollar yacht. So of course, I'm sure, and that was towards the end of the episode. And first of all, I felt bad for Kyle because he couldn't run one out because there was just all these people there all the time. It's like, really? Damn. This was my fucking room. Get the fuck out, right? I get it. I get it. We see each other. Little Housewives of Atlanta humor. Which, by the way, the Real Housewives of Atlanta just recently started. I don't think I'll be doing a Sudsy recap for that show, but I do love me some Atlanta Housewives. I love me some She by Sheree. They had an Atlanta Housewife Below Deck crossover last season when Cynthia Bailey and Claudia Jordan rented the boat, and they came on as guests, as charter guests. And Noelle, Cynthia's daughter, was just she was like crying by the end of it. She had such a good time. She didn't want it to end. I mean, that was really kind of sweet. I really enjoyed that. That was, I love me a good crossover. I love, especially a reality crossover. I love that shit. So here's a little bit of trivia for you. Okay. What was the first Real Housewives crossover? Who was the first person from a Real Housewives city to show up in a different city? Okay. So we've already seen Bethany from New York on Beverly Hills, but that wasn't it. We've seen Yolanda and Brandy from Beverly Hills on New York. That wasn't it either. What it was Kim Zolciak on season 1, episode 1 of Housewives of Miami. That was the first crossover. So I don't think Andy gives that any credit because he doesn't really talk too much about that. He loves a good crossover just as much as I do, but he doesn't really discuss it. But that was the first crossover, was Kim Zolciak on Housewives of Miami. Just saying. Other than that, Below Deck was pretty good. We'll see who the charter guests are tonight. I have no idea, so I'm kind of excited about that. Work for me is going very well as can be expected. It's the end of the year and everyone's getting stressed out, but I'm actually a lot more zen than I was before. I was stressed out earlier in the year, but now I'm just kind of just going with the flow and doing the best that I can do, and that's all that I can do, right? So anyways, I want to say thank you so much for logging on today. I do appreciate you all. Follow me on Twitter at Angel Benton. You can hashtag Below Deck to talk about our favorite yachties. Tomorrow, I'm going to be, well, not tomorrow, probably later tonight, I'm going to be talking about Days of Our Lives. And then after that, I'm going to do Young and the Restless. Because I'm still about 5 episodes behind. But I swear to God, I'm going to, even if I have to just do 2 a day, I'm going to do that until I get caught up. So, because I will get caught up, I promise. I can't wait to talk about Bold and Beautiful. Because this has been a great week for Bold and the Beautiful. But anyways, Have a wonderful night. Peace out. Wubba, wubba, wubba.